Welcome to Secrets to Alignment with Savannah Schaffer. I am here to equip you with the belief and energy to make your dreams a reality. Take this time to fill your cup and align with the most vibrant version of you. Welcome back to the Secrets to Alignment podcast with your host, Savannah Schaffer. Hi. First off, Ty is currently taking a nap downstairs and Aria is also napping at the moment. So I'm talking a little bit lower today. Usually they're both out of the house, but today they are here with me. We actually just got back from Lake Tahoe and I have so many lessons that I took from this trip and I'm so excited to tell you guys about them. So if you didn't know, I just went to Lake Tahoe this past weekend. We went with a group of 11 people. We got our own Airbnb. It was absolutely stunning, beautiful. The views were insane. If you've never been to Lake Tahoe, this was my first time and it was seriously one of the most beautiful places ever. The lake itself, stunning, the trees, the snow. It was like a little village of a winter wonderland. I had such a good time with all of my friends. We had a blast laughing together, making new memories, trying out new places, just literally having such a good time. And I took away so much. I had so many realizations. And as soon as I sat down to think about what I wanted to do for my podcast today, I was like, I want to share all of the lessons that I learned from Lake Tahoe because there were so many things that came up during this trip. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So this was actually my second time skiing. I have skied one other time other than this, but I wouldn't even count it because it was a few hours and it was years and years and years ago. So this is technically my second time skiing ever. And I didn't even get a ski trainer or whatever. I actually had just watched some YouTube videos and just decided to say fuck it and just try it out myself and just see how I did. And I actually did so good. I had such a great time. I love learning new things. I love trying new things. So this to me was something that I was so excited to get into. But the entire time that I was there, the things that were going through my mind while I was skiing, while I was around all of our friends, just being in close proximity with other people, I had so many things that came to mind and I was like, oh my gosh, I just have so much to share on this. So Ty and I drove down there with a couple friends on Thursday and then Friday we went skiing. So he went snowboarding with all of his friends. I was skiing with one of the other girls that was there and we were the only two people skiing and then everyone else was snowboarding. I did not want to snowboard because snowboarding is harder than skiing and it feels very unnatural. And I just was like, no, I trust myself with skiing. I'm going to figure this out. So the entire time that we were there, I had such a good time, but there were so many scary moments, if I'm being totally honest and transparent. During this ski trip, I had so many moments where I was just like, holy shit, how am I going to do this right now? And it is such a testing sport. The entire time I had to repeat to myself over and over and over again, trust yourself. Trust yourself. You've got this, Savannah. You're handling this well. You're doing good. I was literally my own hype man the entire time. And I had to really just trust and lean into this process, lean into the flow of skiing because skiing is actually, it's not the easiest thing. It's not very, very hard, but there is such a big learning curve. And for you to actually pick it up, it takes so much time, so much practice. And you can really when we went to Lake Tahoe, we went to a Heavenly Ski Resort. That mountain is huge. It is not a small mountain whatsoever. I went to Lee Canyon here in Vegas and that mountain in comparison to this mountain is literally 1/8 of the mountain at Heavenly at Lake Tahoe. So just being there was number one, so beautiful, but number two, just very intimidating because all of the people there, they know what they're doing. There was not a lot of beginners. This was so much fun, but holy shit, was it scary. With skiing, the entire time that I was going through all of this, I kept thinking about business and how all of these things correlate, or even just life in general, how you don't know what your next move is going to be. You have no idea how you're going to handle the next, you have no idea how you're going to handle the upcoming path and the terrain and all of the things, but you just have to trust yourself and go with the flow and do it anyways. And this absolutely reminded me about like how you do business. Sometimes you have no freaking clue what that next step is going to be. Even life in general, you have no idea where life is taking you ever, but you just have to continue to move forward, continue to just put one foot in front of the other and just see where it takes you. There was this one point where we were at the top of the mountain, and at the top of the mountain, it was snowing so hard. It was so windy. And then on top of that, there was cloud coverage. So you literally could not see 20 feet in front of you. All it was like a full whiteout 20 feet in front of you. So I'm going through this at the top of the mountain. This is my second time skiing. And I'm sitting there like, where the hell are we going right now? Like, we have no idea what we're doing. We're following these signs that barely even make any sense. We're like looking at maps that have all these different runs, all these different paths on them. And we're just like, okay, like, let's just try it out. We're just going to see where this takes us. And throughout being even at like the top of the mountain, oh my gosh, my freaking hands and my feet were so cold. You guys have no idea. Like, I was in legit pain throughout this process. Like, I was telling myself to just continue to push through it because I was hurting so bad. My fingers felt like they were on fire from being so cold. Like, that makes no sense, but that's literally how it felt. Like, I was in so much pain throughout this that I just had to keep telling myself, like, it's gonna end soon. It's gonna be okay. There was another point where I ended up getting nauseous because I was in pain. And I think also the elevation, like, there was so many things that were happening. And I just had to literally tell myself, like, just put one foot in front of the other. We're going to be inside. Like, eventually everything is going to be fine. Like, you're okay, Savannah. You have to get comfortable with the uncomfortableness. Like, you do cold exposure. I was legit talking myself through so many different moments throughout this ski journey. And this is only from the skiing aspect. Like, I have so many other lessons from all the rest of the trip, but just the one day that we went skiing, I had so many moments of just like being completely present, like looking around and being like, wow, like, look at how beautiful this place is. Look at how all of these trees stand so strong, and all they need here is Mother Nature to be there for them. And that's exactly how we are too. Like, all we need is the universe, and we continue to survive, and we continue to push through, and we go through so much, but yet we're still standing here and we're so strong. And there's just so many things just flowing through my head throughout this process. I also just loved skiing so much because I realized that it's simply like a hobby for me. And I got to watch myself progress every single time that we went down, every single run. I got to see myself improve and improve and improve. And that was so cool for me because, I mean, you guys know, like, I'm so driven with work. It's very rewarding. Motherhood is very rewarding for me personally. But outside of like work and motherhood, like, I don't really have many just like hobbies, I'd say. Like, I'm not like a hobby type of person. So seeing the progression of just me being able to continue to get better at skiing and just love it so much, and love the challenge, love the learning curve, like, love challenging myself, going down runs that you look down them and you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get down this? And you just have to fucking figure it out. Like, there were so many times where I experienced that and I was just like, Savannah, like, trust yourself, you've got this. But it was actually so intimidating, and you just have no idea how you're going to handle it, and you don't know when you're going to fall. You fall multiple times, and yet you continue to just get back up and you just go do it again. Like, there was multiple times where I end up wiping out, and I was like, I'm going to go do that run again because I want to figure out how I can do this right and do it correctly and make sure that I get to the bottom without any falls. And it's just such a testing process. It was so cool. And again, I just correlate all of these little lessons to like life lessons, life experiences, like what we actually go through on a daily basis. Like, life is not an easy process. Life is not something that we just like cruise through. You actually have to figure out what your next move is when it hits you, and when you have to deal with it, and it's confronting and it's scary and you don't know how you're going to get through it, but you always end up getting through it. And you have to just enjoy the process and learn to love what you're doing. So after we went skiing and everything, we had the next few days to just enjoy company with everyone who was around us. There was tons of guys. There was 4 girls, and then 4 girls and 7 guys. 4 girls and 7 guys, and all of us were just having such a good time, like just hanging out at the cabin, vibing, listening to music. Like the boys were playing beer pong and stuff, the girls were just chit-chatting, like everyone was having such a great time. And this really showed me just how influential your relationships can be, to be honest. Like you can surround yourself with people who truly make you better, who make you more intentional, who make you happier, who make you just like let loose and have fun. And then you can surround yourself with people who don't have your best interests at heart, who really don't care to ask you anything about yourself or just to be there for you or to connect with you on a deeper level. And you really do have to choose those relationships that you keep close to you wisely. And even the people that you go on trips with, I think that that's very, very important because you're spending all this time with those people. And I think that a lot of times, like, well, we can just think, oh, well, I'm just gonna like invite like whoever I want or whatever. But actually thinking about who's going to be there and what kind of energy do they have and what kind of vibe are they going to bring and all of those things, I think that it actually makes such a big difference. And what I loved about this group is just filled with people who are so giving and like we don't take things seriously. We're all just having a good time. Everybody is so caring of everyone else. We're all making sure that everyone's okay. We're all making sure that we're all taken care of, that we're all having fun. Like we're all just actually a tribe. And I've personally never had a group like this ever. Thank you to my freaking man, Ty, for bringing this group into my life because without him, I wouldn't have met all of these amazing human beings. And I think that that's also a whole other thing is like, you just have no idea when and how you're going to meet the people who you become closest with. Like, for example, one of the guys there, he met a girl at EDC and ended up, EDC is a huge like festival in Vegas. There's up to like 400,000 people that go every single year. It's an insane amount of people. And he ended up meeting this one girl from Florida. And since then, she ended up moving from Florida to Vegas. This was in May. We are now in March. She ended up moving from Florida to Vegas in like October last year. And then once I met her, I became like literally her best friend. We became best friends off the bat. I told the guy that met her at EDC, I was like, dude, he's one of Tyler's best friends. I was like, you met her for me. Like she's supposed to be my friend. It was so funny, but we've become so close. And that's another relationship that I didn't even have in my life a year ago. Yet now I'm really, really close with this girl who I could see being in my life forever. Like it is so wild how just life will take you through different journeys and experiences, and you get to connect with such amazing people if you just allow yourself to do so. And yeah, so just being around so many people who were so specifically giving, I think that was like the biggest thing. Everyone was making sure that everyone else was taken care of. I think that was so special and just honestly really, really inspiring for me because I just haven't been surrounded by a lot of people who are like that. So having this crew of people who are just so connected with each other and love each other so much, and we're also like there to express that, and we're all saying like love you, drive safe, and like we're just being like a family together, I think was so special. So something that I mentioned earlier in this podcast was that when I was looking around, I'd be on the ski lift, I'd look around and I'd see all of the beautiful trees and everything just around me, and I thought to myself like, these trees have everything that they could ever need right now. Like they have it all and they don't have to worry about literally anything. And what I just now said is actually something I ended up saying like a week prior. I said, and I wrote in my phone to now remind me every single morning at like 9:15, I have a reminder that says, I have all I could ever need right now in this moment. And that is something that just allows me to ground into knowing that like, I don't need absolutely anything else. Like I don't need anything external to make me happy. I have it all and I truly do. And I think that when you get to that place where you can be truly so grateful for every single thing that is in your life and it being there for you and all of the experiences that you've got to have, all of the friends that are around you, like you can just feel so fulfilled. And that's exactly how I felt throughout this trip. I felt so incredibly fulfilled and grateful for the people who I was around, for the experience that I was going through. Like I also recognized throughout this process that like at the end of the day, money is something that allows you to have experiences like this. And that is one of my biggest motivators, is just having more experiences like this with the people who I love, and being able to like take care of everyone to go on a trip with me, or being able to fly all of my friends with me to a different country. Like, that is truly what motivates me so much, because that creates memories that last years and years and years. And that is something that you can't get back, and you can't get that time back with those friends that you love. And it just motivates me so much, not only for myself, but also for everyone who listens to this podcast, all of my clients, to experience that same feeling of just fulfillment and happiness and awe, honestly. Like, just feeling that feeling of awe of, wow, like, this is my life. I kept saying that throughout the entire day that we were skiing, and just on this trip in general. I kept saying, I can't believe that this is my life right now. And I just think that that's so special. And again, it just motivates me so much to encourage everyone else to create lives that they actually have control over, and that they can go take these vacations, and that they can take time off, and they can escape from their businesses for a weekend and disconnect and just be fully present, because there's nothing else like that. There's no other kind of feeling that's like that. And I'm just so incredibly grateful once again. While we were taking this trip, I was actually around some people who I've never really spent like a lot of time with. And that was really, really cool for me, because I got to meet so many cool, amazing humans and connect with them on a deeper level. And I loved just being around all of these people, because everyone brings in a totally different personality, a different perspective, different thoughts, all of these things. And so it was really, really cool throughout this weekend. Tyler had two of his friends come stay with us, a boyfriend and a girlfriend. And with having them here, it was so freaking special, like just being surrounded by good people. And me and the girl ended up connecting so much, because I just show up very transparently, and I really am honest and vulnerable, and I don't try to act like I have all my shit together. And I feel like when you are just transparent and you're completely yourself and you're authentic to who you are, you really do allow yourself to connect with the people around you so much more than trying to act like you're perfect or you have it all together, like whatever. Like, for example, I mentioned to her that I have a podcast, and I could have totally been like, oh my gosh, like, because she knows that I have a podcast, I need to act like I've got all my shit together, and like I never overthink, or I never have any of these thoughts or whatever. And I absolutely just did not do that, because I'm so honest about everything that I'm going through, every thought that I'm having that like I'm getting in my head, or any moments that I'd have where I'm like insecure or not feeling like I'm the most confident version of myself. Like, whenever I had those moments, I just was so present with it and just acknowledged it and talked it out with whoever that I needed to, and then continued to move on. And I just think that it makes such a big difference when you can be around people who truly accept you for all of your flaws and every single aspect about yourself. You don't have to be this type of person that's got it all figured out. Like, you can just be completely who you are. And I really, really value that. I also recognize throughout like just hanging out with everyone in the group, like I am somebody who has habits and routines and boundaries, like really, like, I don't know, I don't feel like anyone else in the group as much as I do. Ty kind of is like that too, but I just have like really like strong boundaries and habits and routines that I'm always sticking to, like making sure that I'm meditating even while I'm on vacation, and making sure that I'm hydrating so much, and not indulging too much in substances like drinking or smoking or any of that kind of stuff. Like, just making sure that I'm being intentional with every single thing that I'm doing, and I'm not just like allowing myself to get taken by the moment. I am somebody who really makes decisions for my future self, and not for just like the moment that I'm experiencing. Like, of course I could go throw back 3 shots, but I'm not going to do that, because I'm saving my future self of like feeling a hangover, feeling anxious, feeling insecure, like all of those other things that come with being drunk. Personally, for me, this is just my own experience. Like, I am very intentional about all of my actions and everything that I do, even when I'm on vacation, because of course I'm having a great time and I'm letting loose and I'm having fun, but I won't allow myself to go overboard to the point where I'm regretting what I'm doing, or I'm being sloppy, or like anything like that. Like, I truly just want to be present. I want to be intentional. I want to be mindful throughout all these experiences, because I want to remember all of these things. Like, I don't want to just like get shit faced and then be like, oh my gosh, I don't even remember what I did this weekend. Like, I want to be there with the people that I'm with. And yeah, I think that's something that I also just kind of recognized and picked up on. And I took time to actually go do my meditations and took time to like do my skincare and listen to my own music or listen to my own shows. Like I took the time that I needed to kind of recharge myself, especially while being around like so many other people, so many other energies. I made sure to do my best to like center myself, ground myself, like really taking deep breaths randomly and just doing what I can to stay connected throughout the entire weekend of like having fun, letting loose, and enjoying time with our friends. Yesterday, we ended up coming back from Lake Tahoe. We drove 7 hours. It was such a long drive, but we had so much fun. Ty and I got to just like chat the entire time. We talked about my upcoming speaking event that I have in the next couple weeks, and we just like talked about our relationship, did like a little check-in and all of the things. And with that, like as soon as we got home, we ended up unpacking. We grabbed Aria, of course. We took a shower and then we just relaxed last night. We did laundry. And then this morning, like at 6 a.m., I ended up getting up, going to the gym right away. And I, at first, like really wanted to just wake up, brush my teeth, get dressed, and then lay back in bed. Like that was my plan as soon as I woke up and got out of bed. But I decided like, no, I'm going to just go to the gym, get my day started, and just get back into the groove of things, because personally, I feel my best when I'm actually sticking to the routines that make me feel my best, instead of just like thinking like, oh, I feel tired right now, or giving myself excuses. I don't allow myself to have that like time period after being back from vacation to like get back into the groove of things, because honestly, I just feel like that can be an excuse to just not do the things that you know you need to be doing. So instead, I like made sure that I got up and I got to the gym, and now I'm feeling good. I'm really, really happy that I am always showing up for my future self. I'm not showing up for my current self, because your current self can sometimes be self-sabotaging and could be giving you like excuses to not go do those things or whatever. So I just am always thinking of my future self, and I think that that's something that actually saves me all the time. That is everything that I took from and learned at Lake Tahoe this weekend. It was so much fun. And yeah, I hope that these are some things that you guys connected with, and just also like maybe had some time to reflect on your own boundaries and routines and all of the things and what you're currently learning in your life right now. I would love to hear from you guys. If there's anything that you're curious about or that you're wanting me to film a podcast on, I am here for it. I would love suggestions whenever that you guys have them. Anything that I can do to support you, I'm totally here to do that. So yeah, I will talk to you guys next week.